What's up, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of Chronicles of a Virgo Podcast. And as usual, I'm your favorite Virgo host, Shakita Johnson. And happy Wednesday, y'all. Happy Wednesday. Happy May. We are now in a new month. I can't believe we are in May. Wow, it feels like this year is just flying by. But I hope you guys are taking care of yourself and doing well. And just know that your girl is sending you lots of love and some good old vibes your way. So by all means, please open up and embrace all of this love and this good old vibes I'm sending you. And again, thank you guys for joining me back for another episode. So today is Wednesday, so I think we're back on our regular release schedule. Okay. Y'all know April, life was lifing. I am still transitioning into my new job, training, all that stuff, and that threw me off track with everything. But thank you guys for extending the grace and understanding to me as I got things together. But we're back, and I have some wonderful episodes coming to you guys this month, and we are actually nearing the end of another wonderful season of Chronicles of a Virgo podcast. So please stick around, and thank you for continuing to support me through my shifting of my personal life and just all these different moves that I'm making and things like that. Hasn't been easy, right? But I've been doing the best that I can, making sure I take care of myself, as I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves as well. All right, so we got some things to get into in this episode. But first and foremost, we must start off with our lovely mental health check. Time to check in, time to see how we are feeling. How are you guys feeling today? How you feeling? Hope y'all doing good. On a scale of 1 to 5, your girl today, I'm gonna say I'm about a 4.5. Okay, just because I'm a little tired, but that's normal, right? Mentally, I continue to be in a great space. I've been taking time for myself. The weather is not weathering no more. It's getting that springish summer feel. So your girl been going outside, getting back into my little jogs and my walks, been hitting the weights a little bit, back in my juicing. So I'm doing all the things that I need to do to take care of myself. And I given myself a bedtime. Now, let me tell you, I was one of those people that just would be up at night, sometimes just scrolling on social media or just binging watching TV shows and different things. But now, like, I be in bed. Sometimes I be asleep before 9, 10 o'clock. I made myself set an alarm. Not that I get up every morning at that time, but I'm trying to get more structured with things, and it has been working to the best of my ability. My new job, my schedule changed a little bit, so that threw me off a lot more than what I thought it would. But I've been maintaining, doing well with all of that. So I'm going to keep it up. I'm still making some strides in doing things in my life. So as long as I make sure that my mental health is good, and I haven't seen my therapist in a month. I miss her. I miss her. But with me switching jobs and insurances and all that stuff, I had to take a month off until I got all of those things right. And I got a schedule, but I'm about to be discharged, y'all. Oh my God, I'm about to be discharged from therapy. That's a whole nother thing, but it's a good thing though. Okay. It is a good thing, long time coming. So that is a milestone that I will be celebrating soon. All right. But yes, your girl is feeling good, feeling great. Hope you guys are. Hope you guys have been doing your mental health checks, taking time to see how your nervous system is feeling, taking time to have that internal dialogue with yourself, see how you are doing. If something is wrong, what is the causation of these things? We talk a lot about the surface level issues, right? That can contribute to our mood and our feelings and our anxiety and all of these things. But we know that sometimes there's a deeper rooted issue. That was what it was for me. A lot of deeper rooted issues, right? And sometimes we have to really take time to address those things so the things at the surface level will begin to dwindle away. Okay. So that is the purpose of these mental health checks, to just remind y'all and myself accountability, okay? To take time out of our busy schedules to do that, because I have a new job, have a longer break. I've been using my break time to actually really meditate more. Like, I meditate already, but this time I designate like 30, 45 minutes of my break to really meditate. My job is really big on wellness and mindfulness, which I've never worked for uh, any organization or company that is as big as they are. Like they talk it and they walk it as well. And I actually got a chance recently to attend like a mindfulness Monday meditation, and it was amazing. It was amazing. So yes, just find different ways. And May is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So you guys know, really got to pay attention to our mood and our mental and things like that. I know a lot of people deal with seasonal affective disorder, so during the cold seasons, you seem to be more depressed, may have some anxiety, all of those things. But there are people that deal with that in the summertime too. And I'm just finding that out because when it's hot or warm, I feel so much better than the colder seasons, right? So if you are one of them people, please make sure you are doing everything that you need to do to take care of yourself. Get some good old vitamin D, make sure you're eating some nourishing meals, just harvesting all of those good things that bring you joy and fullness. Okay. And that's for anybody that doesn't deal with that either, that just may be having a rough time or dealing with a rough patch in their life. Find the things that bring you joy. I will post throughout the month, of course, some mental health things that you guys can utilize or put in your toolbox. There, I'll also put some links in the description if you are someone that is looking for some mental health assistance, therapy, whatever the case may be, you know? So, because 2024, we are going to continue to thrive and move forward on a positive note. And when those flowing moments come of adversity, anxiety, or whatever, we are going to sit for a minute, address it, and move forward. All right. And I'm speaking to myself too, because I did say in 2023, we wasn't spinning the block on none of that mess. We wasn't spinning the block on the negativity, the negative thoughts, the lack mindset, none of that stuff. All right. So I'm not too sure as I'm recording this what I'm going to title this episode, right? But what I want to talk about today is something that I don't think I've actually ever talked about on the show. I know I talked about it in my personal life with my friends, maybe, but I don't even see much of it circulate in social media when I'm like roaming the social media streets or whatever. But it's something that I've dealt with definitely recently. And I'm like, I wonder who else has dealt with this. And it's something I've addressed in therapy as well. And that's grieving your old life, like grieving your old self, especially like when you're going through your healing journey and things like that. Having the memories of where you were, right? Whether if it was a good time or a bad time. Maybe the reason why you're not in that moment or with them people are doing them things is because it's not serving you now. But there are times in our journey where we're like, damn, things would be so much easier, right? Because it was comfortable back then. I can just easily go back to doing X, Y, and Z. Even though it's not going to be beneficial to me now, it's easier. It's comfort, right? Because there's too much fear in moving forward in the unknown. There's too much fear in not knowing when my next paycheck going to come or if I'm going to have enough money to make ends meet. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's easier for us to take a step back and dabble in things that we try to leave alone, right? And in my journaling, I said that I might start sharing more things that I journal on episodes and things, because I believe that they can help people, right? Or if I'm led to do it, I will. In my journaling, I created 4 points that I had to embrace and understand that gets me and continues to help me get through those moments of grieving my old self, my old life. And y'all know I wrote it down because I did not want to keep it convoluted in my mind because I got so much on my mind. But I wanted to share those things with y'all in hopes that it will resonate with somebody or it can help somebody that may be going through something like that. And maybe you are experiencing something like that, such as grieving your old self or grieving your old life, and you just didn't have the words to explain what you're going through. Like I deal with that so much. All right. So get your pens and papers and let's go. So the first point was I had to acknowledge what has been lost in this journey, right? And that was people, places, things, behaviors, all of these things that did not align with my current reality, all of these things that didn't align to what I was trying to create and the life that I was trying to live, right? Now, I know some people, including myself, have traumatic histories, right? And we were somebody before the trauma. We were somebody before the breakup. And those moments may have been good or we may have thought they were good, but parts of those moments we may miss because of how it made us feel. Because, it didn't take much work to get to that point, but it takes so much more work to heal all of those wounds and move forward and just really find the center of happiness. So, with acknowledging each and every layer of behavior, person, place, thing, you name it, experience that I had to let go, it helped me more to move forward because I realized how those things and people wasn't beneficial to me, how some of those things and people may have been hindering me from moving forward. And if I would stay in that same place, I wasn't going to come out of that. And it's going to be easy for me to spin the block and do things I ain't supposed to be doing, right? Or hanging with people that I don't need to hang with. Now, this is no disrespect to any of those people, right? Because our lives are different. Everyone can't go with you on your journey. So, had I kept certain people in my space, or I didn't allow God to remove certain people from around me, either A, I may not be here today, right? Just to be real, or I probably would still filled with all the animosity and hurt and just anguish that I was dealing with at that time. So I'm grateful for getting to the point of being able to acknowledge those things and to label them for what they are, right? Instead of just letting them just linger around. So first things first, acknowledge what has been lost. Second thing was to embrace change. Now, this is difficult for many reasons because, like I said, we get stuck in our comfortable phase, things that are comfortable for us. It's comfortable for many of us to work from home. Like I was working from home for many years, and then last year in August, I had to go back in the office. That was so uncomfortable. It sent me up a spiral. I went into a deep depression. Like it was just a lot because I wasn't comfortable in a space that I was not familiar with, around strangers, like a whole bunch of different things. Had I been able to stay home and work, I would have been comfortable, been able to do my job and all of these other things. So, in healing and moving forward and letting go of the things that no longer serve you, the people, places, and all of those things, embracing change of where you are. And what that does is that opens you up to new experiences, new ideas, new creative paths that you may not have known that you had an interest in, right? I would have never thought in a million years that your girl would be out here meditating into sound baths, okay, doing all the things that I like to do holistically. I probably wouldn't have even been in therapy as long as I was, right? But I had to embrace the change, embrace the path that I was on, acknowledge why these things were serving to me. Okay, you see what I did there? Now I'm acknowledging why these things are serving to me and why they benefit me more than those other things that I had to release and let go. Because my life, it didn't necessarily get easy, but with time it did, right? And I know, you know, people can say, well, it's always been hard for me. And I totally get that, right? A lot of things are just a mindset thing. And like, what are you telling yourself? Like, what are you giving your attention to? Like, how are you speaking over your life? How are you speaking over the change in your life? You know, I still haven't I still haven't openly spoke on my whole move last year, my whole situation and everything that has transpired in last year. Okay. Because that would give you so much more insight on why embracing the change in itself is so important. In due time, I shall release that information. But till then, just know fully embracing the change opens you up for the things that you do deserve, more experiences, more opportunities, the things that you've been trying to draw in will begin to come to you, right? And of course, there's having the faith about these things actually being able to happen, releasing your expectations around timelines and all of those things. But it's so important to embrace what you have now in that moment and to know that I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I used to be, and I'm going to get where I'm trying to go. Right. And sometimes our paths may look different. We may envision something for ourselves, but we know how God and the universe work. We can draw in better. So embrace the change. It's hard. It can be hard. I'll say that. It can be hard, but embrace it. And the next thing was, no, this one was hard. I ain't gonna lie. Was release attachment. Okay. Although this phase was so difficult for me, I'm speaking for me. Some people, it's easy for them to detach from things, people, places, foods, all of that. For me, I was so codependent with people in the past. So releasing attachment to certain people, it was a struggle, and it just sent me in a spiral of depression and trying to fend for myself. And sometimes, have you ever been in a relationship where y'all was solely dependent on that other person to do every single thing, and then the relationship ended? Now it's like I got to take responsibility of all of these things that someone else did for all these years. Yes, that was me at one point. Now the difference was I knew how to do the things. I just let that person take lead, right? But still being dependent on that person to fulfill certain parts of me. And that's a whole nother issue in itself. But to fulfill a whole nother layer of things that needed to get done or how I needed to feel, releasing that attachment was super hard. Even releasing attachments to environments, some people really want to move out of their cities, their states, or they want to move to another country, but because they're so comfortable in the environment that they're in, you'll find every reason why you can't move, every reason why you can't let go of that person. You'll find all the good things they may have done and all the good reasons for why you won't leave. In reality, the best decision that you can do is just leave, right? And I've been through it. I truly have been through it, and it had been a journey. And what I realized is in that releasing attachment phase, that is where the true rediscovery falls in place. And what I mean by that is by releasing everything that you thought served you, releasing who you thought you was, it now makes you kind of bare. I am bare to bring in more things that I didn't think I had interest in, right? Or drawing more experiences things that you wanted to do, but you was making excuses for why you couldn't do it, right? Or just attracting new support systems and new tribes and new communities of people that you may have thought that you never would ever associate with. A lot of podcasters that I associate with, that I'm really cool with, they would never have thought in a million years that they would have the platforms that they have had, but they had to release that fear, release the attachment of like having to know everything before doing it. And a lot of their shows are just flourishing. Some people have stepped away for personal reasons, and that's okay. Like, that is so okay. But the thing is, you still did it. You still did it. So you just have to find that common core on how to release attachment, and depending on what it is, there may be a process that you have to do. I know for me, the biggest thing was people. It really was people, because there's nothing like having that confidant there with you that you can tell everything to, and just have that moral support, that physical intimacy, and just know that this is my person. And when that's taken away from you, it's like, okay, now I have to be my own person. And for a lot of us, that's hard. It's really hard. So yes, releasing attachment, y'all. So far we have acknowledging what has been lost. All right. Embracing change, releasing attachment. And the last thing on my little list is finding the true meaning in the process of grieving your past self or your past life, however you want to title it. And I say that because, again, sometimes we don't have the words to explain things, or we give everything a negative meaning, right? But in reality, when you sit and you self-reflect on where you are in your journey, and you look in that rearview mirror, because we only looking in that rearview mirror to look at how far we have come. We're not looking in it to spin the block, okay? Not spinning the block. When you look at how far you have come, you may be able to find a deeper meaning of the experiences that you have endured and give them a greater purpose. And that was it for me. My biggest transition in all of this in my story was going to therapy, was addressing my sexual trauma, because that just opened up the freaking, oh my gosh, the pathways to so much understanding and clarity about who Shakita thought she was. Why does Shakita act like this? Why doesn't Shakita like this? And again, I always say, one of the ugly truths I had to realize was my trauma was literally controlling me for years. And everything about me, my personality, just it just would it just ugh, it just was controlling me for years. And layer by layer, I had to really strip myself bare of all of those things. And when I came back to the drawing board of each and every one of those experiences I had been through, each and every one of those individuals I had to let go, I was I am now able to understand the purpose that they played in my life and the meaning behind all of those encounters and those people and some of the environments that I had to release too, you know? And for me, that's big because for years, like my friends can tell you, like I questioned so much. Like I questioned so much, I cried so much. I didn't even think it was even possible for anything else to fall out my eyes as much as I have cried. But now I have a deeper understanding of everything. And of course, my understanding, my process, my healing, my path, it's always going to be different from yours. So you may be listening and be like, well, I'm not at that point yet. And my response to you is that's okay. There's no timeline. Release the expectation of the timeline that you give yourself. No one else is giving it to you. We put all these restraints on ourselves for our healing, our grief, all these things. It's like what are we racing for? What are we racing for? Do we want to be better? Yes. But just like you put a cake in the oven and you bake it and you got to give it time so it can really fill out and do all the things that it's going to do by it's in there, we got to give that to ourselves too. We got to nurture those wounds. We have to address them to see what's really hurt. How did this happen? Okay, let me glaze this up real quick. Not just put a band-aid over it, but let me stitch this up and figure out like how we can really nurse this back to care. And another thing I learned and realized what the quickness was, I really had a bad habit of saying, I just want to go back to my old self because it was so much fun here. It wasn't this hard. Or when I get through this, I'm going to be my old self again. You will never be your old self again. You will never be your old self again. You may have some slight tendencies of your old self. You may have some slight likes of your old self, but you won't have them all of them characteristics. You won't have all the full likes because I know I don't. Some of the stuff that I actually indulged in back in the day, I can't stomach it now. Some of the spaces I used to be in, I highly doubt if I was to go there now, I would not be able to maintain my mental. Like I would be like, get me out of this club, this place, whatever. Some of the people that I used to be around, I know for a fact I couldn't stand to be in their presence now. And that's nothing towards them. That's just me and where I'm at in my life and in my healing. You will never be your old self again. And when I think about it, I don't want to be my old self again at all. I don't want to be that broken, bitter. I was about to say another word. I don't want to be that broken, bitter female that I was. I don't want to be that person that didn't have boundaries, that person that was so codependent on everybody else that when it came time for me to make decisions, I questioned every single thing before I actually found the discernment to trust myself. I don't want to be that person again. I don't want to be the person that just lets everyone walk all over me. I don't want to be the person that has to be seen or thinks she has to be seen in a negative light to get attention. I don't want that. I do not want that at all. Right. And I finally got to the accepting phase and embracing that I am never going to be the Shakita of my past. But will I grieve certain parts of me? Absolutely. Is that okay? Yes, because grieving is something we all do. Whether you are grieving your old life, your old self, you've lost somebody super close to you, you go through moments and stages of grief. In your old self and your old life, you're going to grieve those things too. Have you ever rolled past a community you grew up in or you used to live in, and all these memories just come back? Yeah, you're reminiscing on all of those things, right? Like, damn, remember when we used to hang out here at night, or every Friday night we used to go down to this spot? Yeah, and then you start to grieve, like, damn, I wish times was still like that. No, you don't. At least for me, no, I don't. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I am so fulfilled in the body and space that I'm in now that if I ever was to spin a block and resort back to anything that I used to do, I feel like it would take me 10 times harder to dig myself out. And I don't know about y'all, but I don't got time to be laying any more foundation like that and doing that work. And I don't want to discredit the work that I have done, and neither should y'all. Okay. So remember, reminiscing on the old times, whether it was good or bad, your old self, whether you made mistakes as a person, that is okay. But reminisce on it. Look back and then look at where you are now and all the improvements that you have made in your life, all the wonderful things that you are fulfilling now. You may have a family, you may be married, you may be in a much better healed space. You may be using your voice as a way to share your pain, like I do, as a way to help other people. I could not have done this 5, 10 years ago at all. I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. That wasn't my mission. That wasn't my purpose at that time. But now, in the now, I can do it. And I can do it unapologetically. So think about this. When we talk about standing on business, because that's the big term everybody likes to use now, I'm standing on business, I'm gonna get my lick back. Yeah, get your lick back by glowing up yourself. Get your lick back by elevating. Stand on business in your healing. Stand on business with holding yourself accountable for the things that you do, the things that you say, for the leadership that you partake in. Stand on business like that. Now you gonna resort to some other stuff, then hey, karma gonna swim the block. I'm gonna be honest. Maybe. But you stand on business and be real and authentic about elevating, you know, and not needing any type of outside validation from other people. Validate yourself. I said in the beginning of this year, this was the year of milestones. We are celebrating every single milestone that we have. If you have a depressive moment, moment of anxiety, a moment of grief, that is okay. Sit in it. I sat in it today. I sat in it for the last couple of days. Okay. But guess what? I'm up and I'm moving and I'm better. And that's how we got to continue to move, you know? Again, I don't want to try to spin a block and do something and have to rebuild my foundation. And if you do slip up, that's okay. Just know you can't stay there and you got to get back up and move forward. And you should have enough tools in your tool belt that can get you to that point. And if not, we're going to talk. We're going to talk. All right. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I've never talked about this on the show. We talk about all the ways that we can move forward. Guests come on with their wonderful stories and they tell us the pain that they have endured, the trauma they have endured, and they talk about getting to that point of healing in their journey. I tell y'all all my business, okay? My friends tell y'all stuff, but I don't think we ever talked about grieving our old self because it's a real thing. It is a real thing, and I've dealt with it, and I feel like a lot of times you really deal with it more when you are about to embark on some major transitions in your life. And I have just embarked on a big one. I got another one coming up, and my thoughts was running haywire for a second, you know, meaning finding all the reasons why I don't need to do what I know is in my flesh to do. And I'm still going to do it. It's something good, but that's how the mind was wired sometimes. That's how the mind is wired. But ultimately, we have control over our thoughts and we create with those. So if we're going to think something, we need to think positive. Okay. Even if our reality does not show us that now, it doesn't help to have them repetitive, positive thoughts. Okay. Affirm greatness for yourself. Even in those moments of despair, those moments where you feel like you can't go on, those moments where it is just going to be so much easier if I can just take a step back real quick and do what I know is going to get me up there. No, take a step back, chill out for a second, get your thoughts together, and reaffirm all of that over. Okay. Life and death is in the power of the tongue and it's in the power of the mind. And we need to use those things to our best ability. And don't let other people, any naysayers, be a negative influence on the things that we're trying to do. One thing my grandmother always used to say was move in silence because I talk a lot and I couldn't hold water. I'm going to embark on a journey. I'm telling everybody going to know. You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that sometimes people will send you negative energy because they jealous or because it's not happening for them. So now I like to pop out with stuff happening, sometimes. I tell people that I trust, find those trusted people, of course. But yes, use your mouth, speaking and affirming things positively for you and thinking things positively for you for your advantage. Okay. So I really hope that this episode resonated with someone, gave someone some type of clarity or reassurance that you may have been needing. And if not, that's okay. Please, by all means, share this with someone. Share this with everybody. Share, share, share. This was a good one. Share this with someone that you may know that this may resonate with. Okay. And like I said, like I cannot talk today, y'all. Like I said, stay tuned because the next couple weeks I have some lovely conversations coming out. Everything's going to get back on schedule. All right, I promise y'all. And we'll be wrapping up the season probably about the end of June. Okay, so stick with me, y'all. Thank you so much for continuing to support all the newcomers, everyone that's been rocking with me since day one or whenever. I truly, truly am grateful for your support, your love, your encouraging words, and I wanted to give a special shout out to my podcast network that I am a part of, the Unfiltered Studios. I'm a part of this amazing network of podcasters. I have come across so many amazing shows that I would have never thought that they were never on my radar, right? So I'm grateful to be a part of this network that I have the opportunity to just talk to different people, to see different people's lifestyles and hear people's stories and just how people break down different things. Like it's so many podcasts in this network of a variety of things. Like if you looking for it, you might just find it in there. Okay. So if you're looking for a podcast network home, come join us. I will put the link in the description box. Or if you just want to check out the other shows that are in the network, check out our website. The link will be in the description. If you're following me on Twitter, I'm always reposting or just having conversations with different people, different podcasters and stuff. A lot of them are of the network and all of them are friendly. So shout out to all of you guys that is listening as a part of the Unfiltered Studios. You guys are doing amazing things and keep up the great work. Also, I want to give a special shout out to the King and Queen. Okay, the King and Queen, Willie and Fiona of the Thing About Us podcast. I actually was just a guest on their show again. Okay. Recently, if you have not checked out that episode, that link will also be in the description box below. We talked about colorism and its impact in the Black community. That was an amazing conversation. We all let y'all in our business a lot, but it was worth it. And it was so we can educate the masses, okay? And hopefully come together as a community and just do some great things. So thank you guys for inviting me onto your show. I love y'all. They have an amazing platform. Just go follow them, of course. But again, thank you guys for tapping in with me. I truly do appreciate it. I appreciate all the love and the support because you guys could be listening to anyone else. You can be listening to anybody else rambling, but you have continued to choose to tap in with me. And words will never be enough to express my gratitude. Also, I want to give a big shout out, a super shout out. This is a super shout out, y'all. A super shout out to my baby sis Bailey. Okay. Next week, I will be heading down to North Carolina as my sister will be graduating from grad school from North Carolina A&T. Okay. This is so major. I'm so proud of her. Like it's been a long journey, but Bailey, you have stuck it out and just know that I love you so much. I know I've gotten on your nerves, make sure you keep your grades and all of that stuff up, but you did the damn thing. And I know it's going to pay off in amazing, amazing ways. Okay. So I will try to post pictures and videos here and there. I do post a lot more on my main Facebook and Instagram pages. I don't do a lot of like my personal stuff on like the Chronicle of a Virgo stuff, but I will start to post more here and there. Okay. May need a little reminder, but nonetheless, I'll post some pictures and stuff from my time in North Carolina. I cannot wait till next week. But yes, shout out to Bailey for graduating. All right. So yes, and if you're not following me on social media, Chronicles of Virgo Podcast on all of my platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook. Okay. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I post all of the visuals for these episodes up on the channel. And if you watch the videos, please, please, please give me a like. Give me a like, a comment. Let me know that you was there. And I do appreciate the ones that have been commenting, whether it's on TikTok or YouTube, that have been challenging my mind with your questions. Keep them coming. I appreciate all of it, okay? Because we are here to be a community, to learn, to support one another, and to help each other grow. So keep them coming. All right, y'all. And as I always say, please make sure you guys take care of yourself, mind your mental, protect your peace, and also take care of each other. Peace out.